Okay, so as you can see, I've got a YZ24, and I've used the foam that it came in. And something I didn't know when I got it, but the foam comes already cut out on the top and the bottom. It's cut out there so you can add water. Over here you can get into your controls. Now you'll see I've used some tape, some black tape to kind of keep the gaps closed. You might not have to do that with yours. That's just to kind of help seal it. This is just so that the machine doesn't have to work so hard because it wears them out. And I don't know how hard it's going to be to get parts for. I'm going to show you also one thing I had to do. I had to take a soldering iron and just kind of use the hot end of it to make a little hole for the cord. That's one thing they forgot to do. And I didn't want to unplug it because I had it running, so I just, instead of making a round hole, I just made it go clear through so I could set that on and off. This thing also has holes on the bottom, and they're going to be right about here, and they go clear through it so that the bottom of this machine vents, air comes up through the bottom. This thing has to let air flow. If it don't, everything's going to be hot here, and it's going to ruin everything. Moisture ain't going to be where it needs to be, all over the place. I also had to, you'll notice I had to open up this hole a little bit. It was just too small of a hole. I just took a drill bit and just really slowly opened it up till it got to where I could get consistent results with because I was using other meters and thermometers and stuff to check to see what it's running. I didn't want to trust this. I ended up setting this at 37.4, and right now it's reading 66, but it reads a little high. It's probably closer to 60, but even if it is a little high, that 66 shouldn't be a problem. And this thing seems to be working pretty good. It's not laboring as hard. It's chilly in my kitchen here. I've got central air, and I don't want to put this in one of the other rooms. I just don't have room for it. I don't want my kids to get into it. They don't seem to bother it here. It sits in here and works, and you can see now. Another thing you might be wondering about is this little button here. When you hit that, the eggs rotate. Well, when you leave this thing alone, it rotates the eggs around, but you'll notice they go over to one side and stop. See how it went to straighten back up a little bit? That's not where I want it. Now, it's alarming because it's like 2/10, 3/10 high. That's no big deal. Just ignore that. But what I do, I'll hold this button, I'll push it, and when them eggs get the way I want them on the other end, go like that. When they get over and they stop before it can start coming back, I'll push it again, and it resets this number to 10. So then when it rocks back over, it won't come over like this and then come back up a little bit. I like them to be laid over this way or laid over that way. I don't like what this thing does after about a day where it's rocking back and forth. I don't know what it does, but it'll rock them over and then it pulls them back up a little bit. Sometimes they'll be straight up. I really don't want the eggs to be rocked like this and set back up straight. I want them rocked over and left, rocked over and left, and I'll hit this thing 10 or 12 times during the day. I'll come in here, a couple hours went by, I'll hit it and have it turned over, and I'll notice where it's the way I want. At night, I just let it do its thing. It does turn them automatically, but I want to make sure that they're leaning pretty hard. You can still get in to add your water, which I don't need to. But mine, I just add water to 2 trays, and I've got the hose hooked where it fills the deepest tray over this way, or the one that holds the most, and it spills over in the next one, and that keeps me usually about 60, but it's running a little high. That might be running, that's wrong, but it's probably 61, 62%, according to my other humidity gauge. The temperature on this is actually pretty close. So I hope that helps you out. Don't forget to like.